Heya folks, how's it going? My name's Lexi and I really love tabletop role-playing games. So much so that we get together once a week, every week, and review one here at the gaming table. If that sounds interesting to you, I encourage you to press subscribe and keep watching today's video. If you'd like to go the extra mile for the gaming table, there is a link in my description box to my Ko-Fi page where you can donate to help support the channel. Every single donation goes straight back into the running costs of the channel, so it is greatly appreciated. Today I'm very privileged to be reviewing a game that was sent to me. If you have a game that you've made and you want to see it on the gaming table, please reach out to me using the email address in my description box below. I will let you know that I have quite a few games to review at the moment, but I'm always keen to hear what people have been up to. Often when people reach out to me with a game they've made, it gives me a chance to review something I might not have had the chance to review otherwise. So thank you to today's game creator, Daniel Kennis, for reaching out to me. I also need to quickly thank everyone who has donated to my Ko-Fi page. For this review, we weren't able to arrange for me to receive a physical copy, so I was sent a digital copy which I got printed and bound locally. All the funds from my Ko-Fi page basically go into supporting this, so it is greatly appreciated. So today, let's review When Sky and Sea Were Not Named. This game is set in the future, but it also kind of has an ancient world historical vibe. What happened is, in the distant future, Jupiter came loose from its orbit and ended up crashing into Earth. This led to the Earth splitting off and lots of chunks of land now are suspended in the air. This is generally known as the Sky Sea. Many people live out their lives on villages on one floating piece of land and never venture further. The collection of the scattered lands is also known as the Shattered Planet. The region this game takes place in specifically is Tel Kana. Your most common intelligent humanoids in this world are called Canaanites. They're sort of your average human. They do have a lot of flexibility in terms of what they're going to be good at though. Previously, the Canaanites were subservient to the Mazrians. The Mazrian Empire has just collapsed, but not everyone is aware of that yet. The Mazrians are humanoid too, but they undergo a magical ritual in their childhood where their heads are submerged into a river and are changed into that of an animal. Thanks to the whole empire thing, the Mazrians aren't always popular with everyone they meet, and that animal head is pretty hard to hide. There's also the Shannarians. These were a once great race of people that seem to have disappeared over time. Every so often, one of them is found. Rather than being made of flesh, blood, and bone, they are made of clay and intricate systems of running water. They are pretty unusual, and they are perhaps spirits that are inhabiting these forms. Perhaps stranger still are the humanoids known as the Orden. They are touched by chaos and end up with some kind of unusual feature. This is a setting with quite a few things going on. There's invaders arriving on dragons, unhappy undead spirits wandering around, and chaos trying to unleash its full power. Hopefully, your players can rise to these challenges and become the heroes of the Sky Sea. When Sky and Sea Were Not Named is played using a variety of polyhedral dice. Your character has 4 types of overall actions they can engage in to get what they want. There's attack, brace, compel, and maneuver. To determine what size die you'll be rolling, you look at your character's attributes. You get a table for this calculation in the manual, which is, I think, the most efficient way to explain it. You add the results of 2 attributes together and then 4. Whatever the result is, you use the die that's closest to that number, rounding down for uneven numbers. So if you got a 7, you'd be using a d6. The table makes this a lot easier. For most challenges in the game, the Game Master will ask a player to roll the dice. Once the dice have been rolled, the Game Master takes a look and informs the player if their character has met the struggle threshold and the failure threshold. The failure threshold is, well, the threshold where you would fail the task. If you can't beat that number, you can't do it. The struggle threshold tends to be about double the failure threshold, and that is where you achieve the task, but you might still have some kind of challenge if you don't hit that exact number. If you're really lucky, you'll beat both the failure threshold and the struggle threshold. When going up against some intelligent being, you need to beat a relevant score to do what you want. You get a pretty in-depth exploration of the mechanics in this game. The mechanics are mostly geared towards combat, but there's a few other little instances where the mechanics give you some interesting dice to roll and some interesting story opportunities. You make a player character in this game by choosing what kind of humanoid they are first. This is their origin. Then you need to pick a calling, so that's what they're good at, like a job kind of. Then you need to pick some lore, which can give you some really interesting specialized skill, items, and other little details about your character. Then you might need to select a couple of items and then some ideals. The ideals are why your character is doing what they're doing. When your characters aren't busy, there are some downtime activities for them to engage with. I think it's a great choice that the manual says to engage in these downtime activities. Your characters need to be somewhere that is extremely safe. Think like a small protected village. They can't be hiding from an enemy somewhere and still be engaging in downtime activities. I really like the setting. There's some odd humanoids kicking about, an empire on the brink of collapse, and mysterious, potentially dangerous forces gathering. What is there not to like? It's just the sort of place that adventures should take place in. I found initially that I had a bit of trouble wrapping my head around the system, but when I did get it, I found I really enjoyed the idea of having a failure and a struggle threshold. I think stratifying what a success looks like on the die can really help interpret what happens when you roll. I will mention the system currently cannot be used for another game. The author did say in the manual that they are hoping to have a Creative Commons license out. I am disappointed that this system doesn't have a Creative Commons license at the moment, as I think it would be one that people would enjoy engaging with and using in their own games with their own ideas. So hopefully we'll have one soon. If you like games that are inspired by the ancient world but with a bit of a twist, this could be a really cool one to pick up. The inspirations run a bit closer to ancient historical mythologies rather than historical realism, which works really well with the fantasy setting. This game is currently available on itch.io for free, so I encourage you to check it out and leave a review. Thank you again to Daniel for reaching out to me. I had a blast with When Sky and Sea Were Not Named. What did you think? What kind of character would you want to play? I definitely want to be one of those clay people. They sound so cool. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. While you're there, feel free to like this video, and if you know someone who you think would enjoy it, share it with them. If you want to know when my next review is coming out, you can subscribe and turn on notifications, and YouTube will tell you when that's happening. Pretty much any and all engagement with this video really helps it get boosted on the algorithm, so I'm always grateful. I also want to say a quick thank you to everyone who donated to my Ko-Fi page for helping me fund the printing costs for today's episode. If you would like to also help out the gaming table, there is a link to my Ko-Fi page in the description box below. I want to thank you all for watching and discussing this game with me. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you next time at the gaming table. Bye!